Hey, what's going on? It's Coach Ben from Soccer Entrepreneur, and today I want to shoot this video in response to some questions that I got through email. So the number one question I saw was, how do I get started? And I know that sounds like a very vague question, but I have a question for you. If you've been asking me that, can I get started? What is the easiest way to get started? I'm going to break this down very simply for you so that way you can take immediate action. So the first thing I would think of is, don't worry about a brand or a website or some fancy logo. You need to go to the basics, and I would start to write down exactly who your competitors are in your city. So I would go online, type in whatever city you live in on Google, and then you can type in soccer academy or private soccer training or soccer training. So fill in your city with those terms, and now you can start to pick out who is offering what in your town. And if there is a lot of competition, that's a great sign. That means that there's a lot of other trainers out there that are doing what you want to do, so it's proving to work. And if there's no competition, that's also great too, because now you can be the one who can stand out and be offering something that no one else is doing. And when I first started, there was very little competition, which was great, and that helped me kind of separate myself from everyone else who has come onto this since I started doing it. But I was one of the first people in my city who was offering this. Yes, there was other competitors, but I wanted to differentiate myself from everyone else from the get-go. So I would write down who your competitors are, go online, do 5 minutes of research, and you'll be able to figure that out. Now, the next step I would do is I would start to figure out who it is that you want to train. Do you want to train players in elementary school? Do you want to train only club players? Do you only want to train girls? Do you want to train players that want to play collegiate soccer? It's up to you, and that's something that you have to figure out. And it took me a few years to find my niche. And initially, I only wanted to train players that had the desire to play college soccer. And I quickly found out that there's not a lot of those types of players. Yes, there's a lot of youth players who want to go on and do that, but I was trying to target the high school kids, the really serious, really solid, good players that already had a great foundation to begin with, and I wanted to help them get to the collegiate level. I wanted to help them get recruited. So once I figured out that there wasn't a big market for that in my specific area, I wanted to kind of switch things up and focus on the youth players. I wanted to think about where are the most amount of players that need the most help. And for me, I found out what that was, and that's something that you need to decide, because you have to be very specific on who you want to train. And if you are training just anyone, then that doesn't make your program unique. That makes it feel like anyone can be accepted into your program. And the more exclusive that you make it feel for parents, the easier it is to get players within a certain age group. Or if you are only wanting to train girls, or if you're just wanting to train boys, whatever it is that you want to do, you have to be specific in your marketing. And that's something that took me a few years to figure out. But now, because I know we're very specific on who we want to train, it's a lot easier when parents call me, or if they're emailing us about our program, we know that they are within the community that we want to serve. They're within the age groups. So that makes it a lot easier. So what I did was I created a short little document where I want you to fill it out. And this is just going to help clarify some of the questions that you probably have. And once you go through this document, it's kind of a checklist of your business and how you want to run things. And once you go through it, you're gonna have a lot more clarity on what you want to do. Because if you're watching this video, you could have a completely different business model than me, but we want to know who it is you want to train, who your competitors are, and how you're going to differentiate yourself from everyone else. And this is what's going to help you stand out in the future. And this is what's going to help you create a sustainable business that you could have for the rest of your life. And fortunately for me, these are things I figured out early on, and it did take me time. I've gone through tons of trial and error with many different ups and downs in my business. But now, because we have a rock solid system in place, we can now find other trainers who want to be a part of our program. So now we can scale what we're doing. But it's because we know exactly who we want to train. We know that we're going to offer way more value than any of our competitors, so we don't have to worry about what they're doing, and we can focus on giving all the value to the kids that we train. So this is something that I want you to do. So below this video, there's gonna be a free download. All you have to do is just click on that link there and get your free download and fill it out. And if you have any questions, I want you to email me about it, and I can help you with any questions that you have. But it's pretty straightforward, and I promise you, if you take those first steps, that's gonna help you answer questions that you probably have right now about how to start. But you wanna get the ball rolling, and that's the first step I want you to take. All right, I'll talk to you soon.